Okay, we're live from London. Let's just straighten this camera so you can see what we're doing live. What we're doing is tidying up that little pile of pieces bottom left on the bench, which is an ongoing job, tidy up the bench. We're going to make some T-bar pendants. Is that good? That's good. Right, welcome to Roberts & Co. Welcome to London. Little live jewellery making session. Live at 5, late as usual. Let's turn on the YouTube copyright free music. Right, I'm going to make some T-bar pendants. I will give you a close-up of what we're making. I've been making these in the last few live streams, but I've still got a pile of component parts on the bench. So there's a load of rings that I've made previously, the ring components of these popular pendants. So I need to cut some wire into the required lengths. So we do 3 different lengths at the moment, these pendants. So we'll cut some wire up and then attach solder on the rings. So yeah, little simple soldering tasks. Use this engineer's V-block to support the wire, which we straightened out already. Can make a couple of each of the different sizes. 2 centimetre, 2.5 centimetre, and 3. The pile of parts is getting smaller. The end is in sight for tidying up the bench. My original plan was to do 1 live stream a week tidying up the bench, but it's very clear very quickly that that was going to take months. I've been doing it every day. I was waiting for that blade to go. That's the 2.0 saw blade from the video I made about 3 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago at least. That's the first blade that I put in that frame. It's had some very near misses over the last few live streams. Finally went. Got my money's worth out of that one. So yeah, these are 2. There's a long format video where I unbox this Grobo saw frame and talk about saw frames and saw blades and. Yeah, in that I fitted that blade. It's lasted a long while. What invariably happens is once you start busting them, you get on a bit of a snapping saw blade spree. I think these are, either the saw frames are, I don't think the saw frames got better. These blades are quite, these blades seem, these velour blades that I've got here, these new ones, these 2.0, some reason seem a bit faster cutting than previous ones I've had. Don't know what they've changed. Where did that go? There it is. Once we've done all the little jobs on this bench, I really need to, is that light in the way? I really need to tidy up that tray. That's better. So just using a cut to, actually I'm using the flat side of a ring file. Yeah, I think they've done something. Something's changed about the these blades. They first of all, maybe they've not made them sharp. They've done something. They've made them sharper or something. They're hard to. They're slightly harder to get, or hard, not necessarily. They're slightly different compared to the older ones I've got. They're harder to get started in without slipping and sliding. They kind of want to slide around a bit, and they're definitely faster cutting. Maybe I wasn't using velour, maybe I was using another brand, I don't know. I'm not complaining, they're pretty good. I spoke too soon. Look at that. That's pulled out of that hasn't broken. It's pulled itself out of the frame. I'm having some issues with this frame. Not that last blade. It kept letting go of. Snap that now by my hands. What was I saying? They're pretty good. Yeah, it's not quite gripping the blades. I think it just needs wearing in a bit. It's not gripping the blades as tightly as my last one. They keep slipping. They don't break. That last blade slipped out multiple times. It didn't break. It just snagged itself out. I don't know what the ends of these look like. Let's file that a bit. Just make sure it's perfectly flat. Close. Same with this end. Tool modification. Yeah, that blade breaking wasn't the me or the blade, that was the frame letting go of it. Well, the nut. See if that helps. Sounds like we've got the Christmas tunes on YouTube already. Is this? Yeah. It's gone for our Christmas tree already. No, that hasn't helped. Centimeters. blades catching. Yeah, I nearly snapped that one. I've kind of like you know, as you can see, I don't want to say I've mastered the art of this, but I definitely, you know, it proves I'm still snapping blades, you know, but who doesn't? I'm snapping more than I blunt, put it that way, but yeah, it's that. I think the key to doing it is, well, there's many parts of it, but it's your grip. Like, and that's just muscle memory. Like, I see my, like, I kind of let go of it before the blade snaps. Like I've got such a light grip of the thing that it pulls out of my hand rather than the blade snapping out of the frame. Most of the time. I didn't buy 144 saw blades for no reason. Of one size. Just fitting a ring to each one of these bars. Not all of these rings will be suitable, some of them will be too tight or too loose. And like, it's fractional, you can feel it. You can't have them moving about too much, or just want just a perfect fit. It's not all of them, some of them, just the way they were angled when we were cutting them, and not visually you can't see any difference in them, but it's just a fraction of a mil difference in the cut. Although, apart from one of those, they're all pretty good, but there will be some, but you can just use those for the other, for like the bail or the. They're still useful, they're just not for this particular part of the pendant. Wobbling a bit. Yeah, it needs to be tight enough so that they don't move excessively when you're soldering the other ring to them. So otherwise you just never get them straight, but then they can't be too tight because that creates a gap that never quite fills when you solder them. So there's a very fine line with these between too loose and too tight. YouTube really is going in on the festive music. Welcome to Vlogmas. September. Starting early. Let's skip the Christmas. It's too soon. There we go. So I'm going to fill this torch up with gas for these 3 centimetre long ones, and then by the time we get to the 2.5 and 2, when you fill these right up, they're more powerful, more kilowatts than when they're slightly depleted. Good. Right, next one. I do these by eye. I could, you could, measure them out with a vernier gauge or a micrometer and mark them with dividers, but you know what? There's nothing quite as accurate as your eyes. When it comes, you can instantly see if something's off. I think your eyes are far more accurate than most measuring gauges. You can see if something's symmetrical. You can see if it's a fraction of a mil out. Obviously, I wouldn't recommend you build a house that's not based on, without some laser levelling kit. But yeah, for small scale stuff. fractions of a mil, you'll spot any discrepancies. Whereas you could make a house, you know, a foot different in height from one end to the other, and nobody would notice. I'm starting to wish we'd kept with the Christmas music now. It's close, but not quite. Goes back to what I was saying about your eyes, but like these rings are only 1.5 mil wide, so 0.15 of a millimeter, which is a lot of measuring equipment can't even cope with that. But because it's 10%, your eyes can see it. Even if your ruler can't measure it. some more solder, using hard solder here. Now that first time. Those are the ones that normally need redoing. Yeah, those are the ones that, although it's straight, perfectly straight, the solder has in there. I think those are the ones where, because I've done it so quickly, the solder hasn't flowed evenly, you know, the whole thing's not as hot as it should be. We'll find out. Some of these will need, I'm resigned to the fact that some of these will need, when you take a look at them once they're cleaned out of the pickle, quite often they do need realigning, or the solder just hasn't quite flooded the whole ring, they need redoing. But the price of them is reflected more in the labour involved. Than just a multiple of the metal price. But we're still very competitive because we're not paying someone else to make them, like most retailers. So it's a bit wonky. I would imagine most of the ones that are available as well are, the majority are castings rather than hand fabricated. Nothing wrong with that. but obviously casting is quite an endeavour. I did actually have a full casting workshop, but I sold everything. I sold all of it except for the vulcanizing and basically the wax making components of that, because it was just, I didn't have the space for it for a start. Some big gear, and I was just, yeah, maybe one day when we've got the space, get back into casting. Lost wax casting. It's much more computerized these days. What with 3D printing and computer-aided design software. The setup I have for the waxes is really for reproducing metal masters, vulcanized rubber molds, wax injection, and so I do have the gear. I probably need some, I would imagine I probably still need the consumables, but we could technically vulcanize one of these and make the mold, make the waxes, and then get them. That was the other reason I got rid of it, because there are, if we ever really do need to do it, there are commercial casting companies that you can outsource the actual metal pouring component, which is quite a skilled thing and requires quite a lot of kit, but you can outsource that. That part of it's a very skilled companies that specialise in doing just that. But I think there's often an issue with when you're getting them to do the full process. I think there's sometimes the issue of ownership of not necessarily the designs, but the moulds and the patterns, and most of the companies are really good about it, but what casting companies do seem to have a habit of going bankrupt, and then you're dealing with the liquidators and bailiffs throwing your moulds away. Which happened to a friend of mine. Although that was partly his fault, because he thought he was required to buy the whole casting company, but they were really just asking him for a nominal fee for his moulds. But yeah, he didn't find out that until they'd binned them because he didn't want to pay. The other thing is, I guarantee if I went to these are quite popular right now. I guarantee if I went through the process of vulcanizing them, making the waxes, and then get, you know, a viable amount made to make it cost effective. As soon as I got those back, that would be the end of it. I'd be stuck with it for years and years. Because jewellery, there are trends in jewellery, and they do go on a lot longer than trends in fashion, but everything that goes into fashion does ultimately go out of fashion. But, you know, these are a take on the on pocket watch on Albert chain, so they've been coming and going in and out of fashion for well over 100 years. When was the wristwatch invented? 1914? 1915? So yeah, that's at least that long, but I don't know when the fob watch and Albert chains became a thing, and when converting them into necklaces and bracelets then became a thing. That could be over 200 years that these have been worn. Right, let's put that one separately so we can fish the others out. I'll show you what we've made. These still need bails, which we can make. These will still require more pickling time, I imagine. I'll show you the progress so far. And let them pickle, and then we can make the bails in another live stream. if nothing else comes up tomorrow. Just straighten those out. Right, yeah, there still needs a lot more time in the pickle. Clean off the fire scale, fire stain. No, not fire stain, fire scale with flux, look, a bit crusty. There we go, and there's one still in the pickle which I just put in there, so there's no point pulling that out just yet. 40 minutes work. Right, thanks for watching. Let's put them back. And remember to pop all those out later. Right, thanks for watching, guys. And 6 T-bar pendants made tonight, and I will see you in the next live stream. Toodles.